Salutations, nerds. I'm Rick Y, the wise guy. And today is December 2nd, 2024, and I'm finding some news that I find rather funny. But it also suggests that there are some other things that are coming our way that may not be as funny. So if you're into news, history, and random Americana, sit your butts in a seat and let me learn you something. If you dig what I've got to share, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I am trying to reach as many people right now as I can with my message of unity. And I would be much obliged if you would find it worth your time to do the same. So I know what you think I'm about to mention. Some have called it an overreach of power. Others have simply said that this is what happens when people with whom you may not agree get treated with justice or the fair hand of the law. That's right. We're going to go over the final decision by Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs Department finding Rupert Grint facing up to $1.8 million in tax crimes. Finally caught up with him. I'm just kidding. What I'm really here to address is the news regarding Joe Biden's son being pardoned from potential felony gun and tax charges. You see, not too long into his father's presidency, Hunter Biden made it public that he was the subject of an investigation by the FBI. Now, regardless of whether that has any influence on Joe Biden's term is completely speculative. But that said, it was previously stated by the president that he would not commute or pardon his son's crimes. And to be clear on this, I agree that it was a pretty solid move on his part, as the wheels of justice should turn in the direction of truth, regardless of your position. 3 charges against Hunter were 3 federal gun charges where he admitted to purchasing a handgun and lied on the purchasing form. It's not a long form. It's like 2 or 3 pages if I remember. It was a while ago. I don't remember how long it took me to fill mine out. But I do remember the section that goes over this. And oddly enough, it mentions alcohol as well. But that one got glossed over by many of my friends, family, and associates. Then there were also 3 felony tax offenses and 6 misdemeanors, if I could recall correctly. However, with that comes the large caveat that many legal scholars have claimed that had he not been Hunter Biden, the charges would have never been brought. Unfortunately, I argue that were he a poor kid in the suburbs and he just so happened to have had darker skin, I am not sure I would agree on the assessment there, but I digress. I'm not here to posit whether or not that was the right thing to do, but to be honest, pardons are something that every president does as they're walking out the door. I will say, keeping him honest, he said he would not involve himself, but again, weigh that lie against his other more influential opponent and his record of lies, and it's, my position has no sway one way or another. I'm just here to gripe. And I think it's funny watching a Democrat do something ballsy for once. But all honesty, you can't unpardon a person. It's like double jeopardy. So even if there was enough motivation in the situation to overturn it, there aren't any measures that would facilitate it. And what I do think is funny is Donald Trump's response. Sit on his little off-brand Twitter. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been imprisoned for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. I mean, okay. My first response is, okay. My first response is, get the hell out of here. Are you for real? But my second response is, I could go over the years of questionable legal choices that this man has made by means of using the presidency, from the documents fiasco, wherein he stole top secret nuclear information, to pardoning Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Steve Bannon. But if I were to go over all of his unethical or illegal judgment calls over the years, I would have to create an entire video. Stop letting this man manipulate you. But let's kind of pick apart some of what else he said. He brought up the January 6th prisoners. Those who were tried in front of juries of their peers. They were convicted and they were thrown in jail cells for crimes against the United States. Since that fateful day, Trump has been fairly consistent on his desire to pardon every single one of those people. So along with having all of his own charges dropped in the matter when it comes to the attack on our Capitol, one of the biggest pills to swallow for a lot of Americans is that, yes, he will be getting away with everything that he did or didn't do on that day. Remember, he threatened the lives of our Congress people, his vice president. Police officers were attacked and Americans died. Yet because of an internal Department of Justice rule, not constitutional law, mind you, the United States maintains that a sitting president can't be convicted of or sentenced for criminal activity. And to add to that, the U.S. Supreme Court just recently upheld that any action taken by the president while in office is considered an official act. And it's legally immune from any legal acts as well or repercussions going forward. So, if you're having a tough time keeping up, don't worry. Let me fill you in. That means Trump is getting away with everything, has full immunity to carry out any acts that he will choose going forward, and now he's alluding to pardoning an army of scorned, violent supporters. Some, I'm assuming, have some retribution in their hearts. I wish I could be less bleak about this, but another consequence of the election that took place is the retaliatory actions taken by the man who sat idle and watched enthusiastically as our seat of government was overrun. What I can say is, in all the noise in the media at the moment, I think the most chilling isn't some unjust decision by a president to drop ridiculous charges on his only living son, because if you believe Trump would have done any more self-control were the shoe on the other foot, I got a bridge to sell you. The most disturbing thing was that he has a tendency to let leak out his intentions when his emotions get the better of him. And we get glimpses into the manic psyche of Trump. He's going to pardon the January 6ers. He's all but said it at this point. It's only a matter of time, and what those people do next is beyond me. But given their first shindig, I can't say that I'm approaching the near future with a lot of gleeful excitement. So make sure you have what you need to stay safe, stay engaged, and stay decent. Until next time.